Good morning everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. It's Saturday the 26th of April 2025. Now before we get into this video, firstly I would just like to apologise for the fact that I said there was going to be a video on Wednesday night but there wasn't. The fact of the matter is I just wasn't really in the right headspace to go out and do a video of a football match, so instead I just decided to come on that night. But back at it today, and it is the last Gateshead away game of the season, and for it we are heading down to Lincolnshire. It is Boston United versus Gateshead in the National League. It is a massive day at both ends of the table as Boston look to secure survival and Gateshead look to put one foot in the playoffs. So without further ado, let's get into this and let's get those trains down to Lincolnshire. So I'm in Boston, and going into this afternoon's game, Boston are in 19th place in the National League table, 4 points clear of the relegation zone with 2 games left. Survival is very much in their own hands now, which not really that long ago seemed, I wouldn't say impossible, but most definitely improbable. I think there were 12 points adrift or something like that. It was looking for all the world as though they were going to have an immediate return to the National League North, so of course a win in this game would secure their National League status for another season. And you know what, I hope they do survive, because I actually don't mind coming down here, I don't mind them as a football club, but I hope if they do if it does become mathematically certain for them today, I hope it is just by virtue of other results going our way, because this is a hugely important game for us. We're of course in 7th place in the National League table following Monday's 3-2 loss at Hartlepool United, and I'm going to make no bones about it, it was an utterly dreadful day on Monday. I just really felt so low coming out the ground and what have you. I just felt as though we really let ourselves down, but despite how utterly awful this second half of the season has been, with 2 games left, it is still in our hands. Obviously we are 2 points ahead of Southend and 3 points ahead of Altrincham, who are the only 2 sides now outside of the playoffs that can catch us. And of course on the last day of the season we play against Southend at the International Stadium, so this is hugely important for us today. Obviously the situation is, if we win today and get a draw on the last day of the season, that will prove to be enough. Obviously Altrincham are 3 points behind us, but it is worth noting that the goal difference between ourselves, Altrincham and Southend is very close just now, so it's definitely set up a nervous end to the season. Of course, if a situation did unfold today where we won this game, Altrincham failed to win and Southend also failed to win, then that would that'd be it all over. And there is still, of course, the possibility that we could maybe push up a place or 2 in the table, depending on other results both today and on the last day of the season. So it's definitely still all to play for, but I'm not going to lie, I'm not really feeling that confident today, and I don't know if it's just knowing what's on the lines, maybe playing on my nerves a little bit, but I think based on what we've seen quite a lot of late, I think there is reasons to be maybe a little bit sceptical coming into this game this afternoon and have that uncertainty. And when it comes to Boston, obviously we have faced them twice already this season. The first time being in the league at the International Stadium, we ran out 2-0 winners that night in September, and that night I actually thought, you know what, these are certainly not the worst team that I've ever seen at this level. Then of course we played them again in a quote-unquote home game in the FA Trophy, which played down at Stockton Town, in which they beat us 3-1, and it has to be said, although we were poor that day, I did actually think that they played quite well, and looking back now, that could have been something of a catalyst for them to push on, and I think that's possibly even been reflected in some of the results that I have picked up in this second half of the season. So it is absolutely not going to be an easy game today, despite what you may think looking at league table. Of course, as we mentioned, Boston will just want to get the job done today. I think it's going to be a good turnout, I expect, today. I think they've sold out their main stand. This game has been designated as all tickets, so it seems as though people in Boston are really going to get to this game and really get behind them today. So it should be a good atmosphere on that front, but from a Gateshead perspective, I just hope at the very least we can do what we need to do to make sure it's at least in our hands going into the last game of the season. Of course, we can't do anything about what Altrincham are doing. They're away to Dagenham and Redbridge. We can't do anything about what Southend are doing there at home to Wealdstone in the later kick-off. So well, we've just got to do what we need to do down here, and hopefully by 5 o'clock we'll have at least one foot in the playoffs. So let's head on down to the Jakeman's Community Stadium and find out how it all unfolds. So the teams are warming up, Boston and getting ready over there. Going to be in amber and black, their home strip this afternoon. And Gateshead getting ready to say, of course, we are going to be in our claret and blue away strip. Anyway, I will see you when the players are coming out of the tunnel and ready to start the match. Far underway. Yeah, another goal that's come as a result of a mistake. It's far too often, this. I mean, stuff like that's happening, you know, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Yeah! Again, absolutely all over the place. Half-time, Boston United 2, Gateshead 1. I've lost the energy to be angry about it, to be quite honest with you, and to tell you the absolute truth, there's a lot of these players just aren't worth my energy, and I think this game is really reflecting that quite badly, to tell you the truth. You look at Boston, they are fighting for every single ball. Whenever they lose it, they're straight on us to try and win it back, constantly putting us under pressure whenever we've got the ball. We could learn a thing or two from that, because to tell you the truth, a lot of our players just look like they come down here and once again just look like they can't be arsed. And you look at it around the stand today, we've travelled down here in good numbers by our standards, and this is what's being produced yet again. It's absolutely abysmal, and honestly, as I've said a couple of times, we do not deserve to be in the playoffs. I cannot for the life of me see us getting back into this game. I think Southend will do a job against Wealdstone, so that leaves us in a situation where we have to win on the last day of the season. So yeah, and we've only done that to ourselves. We should have had a playoff spot. From the position we were in, we should have a playoff spot sewn up weeks ago, and yet now we're in this position, and we've only got ourselves to blame. There's players just not, to tell you the truth, just aren't giving their all. They just look tactically clueless. It's just been an absolute shambles for what 4 months now, and this is the result of that. It's embarrassing. It's as simple as that. Oh, thank you. Absolutely nothing in that. Never. So isolated, Malcolm. Corner. Six minutes of added time, 6 minutes.
It's Boston United 2, Gateshead 1. We are staying up.
Full time Boston United 2, Gateshead 1. Not wrapping up the video here like I usually would, obviously because there is now a little bit of a waiting game until the Southend game, which kicks off in about 20 minutes, is over. But before I start saying my piece on Gateshead and these players, I would just like to congratulate Boston, their players, their management and of course their fans on quite an unbelievable turnaround to stay up. Graham Coughlin's done an absolutely unbelievable job there, and they showed why they're well worthy of their place in the National League once again next season. The heart they put into that game today, the desire they put into that game today, even with just things such as making sure they were switched on defensively to stop us having like chances of any sort of more major note that could have put them in a little bit of trouble. Just the desire to, as I said, win the ball back to whenever they lost it. The game management, everything. It was really, really on point today. So I've no gripe with them staying in the National League, and I do look forward to playing them once again next season. But honestly, regardless of what the situation is going into the final day, whether we do what's required on the final day or not, this Gateshead Football Club is an absolute mess at the moment, and it needs a deep clean this summer. And I think that's not just on the pitch in terms of players and obviously the management as well. That's just the whole club from top to bottom. We need to know what the hell's going on with this ownership situation. Obviously there's things that need sorting in the summer, such as obviously getting the pitch relaid and that kind of thing. It's just been an absolute shambles for quite a lot of months now, and honestly there's some of the players out there today should be absolutely ashamed of themselves yet again, because a lot of them just went missing yet again. There's been far too many passengers in games of late. I think there's a couple of exceptions you can maybe give today. I think Tim Akinola and Frank Newell, I think they gave as much as they could. Jovan Malcolm as well, but honestly, it's just been an absolutely colossally bad second half of the season, and there's no hiding place for the management anymore. Unfortunately, I think it's just a little bit out of his depth at this moment in time. I wanted it to work out, as I'm sure every Gateshead fan did, but it just hasn't, and I think the big decision needs making there. I think some difficult conversations need having this summer, and that's I think the substitution in was the 70th minute, something like that, which we brought 2 players on, which was the first change we made of the game. He's taken Tim Akinola off, as I said, one of very few players you could actually see busting a gut, and brought on Ben Werman, who's not really been at the races for quite a considerable amount of time now. We've done this to ourselves, and it's been plain not good enough for quite some time. We just don't look up for the fight. It's so degrading, you know what I mean? Because I do really apologise if I come across as having a bit of a sense of entitlement here, but across the course of the season, we go to Dagenham, we go to Southend, Yeovil, all these places. We spend good money on trains, hotels, if applicable. We just want a bit more effort, and it's as simple as that. I mean, I don't mind getting beat if you can clearly see that the effort's there, the desire's there, and maybe you're just a bit unlucky, or the opposition are just flat out better than you. But it's been an absolute joke for quite some time, and I think the feeling I got around the stand today was that people have quite simply had enough. And as I say, whether we get in the playoffs now, don't get in the playoffs, it doesn't change my mind that a lot, and I mean a lot, needs to happen at this football club over the course of the summer. Otherwise, next season could be a very, very long slog. But that's the thing. You look at the size of Gateshead as a town. There's absolutely bags of potential for this football club, but it's just been stuck in a rut for quite some time. And we obviously had a pretty bad January last year, but we recovered from that. But this year, we've almost used it as an excuse, really. And I personally don't think the amount of players we lost this year has been quite as bad as last year. I think we've just felt sorry for ourselves far too often, and this is a result of that. But I'll be back in about a couple of hours or so, and obviously by then we'll know the outcome of the Southend game and what that means for the remainder of the season, for the last game of the season. So there we have it. Southend 3, Wealdstone 0. It means for the first time this season we've fallen out of the top 7 with 1 game remaining, which is of course against Southend a week on Monday at the International Stadium. It's quite simple now. Obviously, we have to win that game, otherwise that's it. We're not in the playoffs. Southend are coming up, knowing that they need just a point to secure it, and they're on a roll at the minute. I think they've kept 4 clean sheets in a row, scored 7 goals across their last 2 games. You can't argue with it. They're the form team going into what is a monumentally big game on the last day of the season, and it is down to the players now in Gateshead shirts to show what they're made of, really, isn't it? If they can't get themselves up for a game like that, then it doesn't matter if they want to be at this club next season or not. Who'd want to touch them with a barge pole, really, you know what I mean? We're outside of the playoff zone at the minute, and we've only ourselves to blame for that. And honestly, on the last day of the season, we just have to bloody go for it, man, you know what I mean? We know we have to win the game, so what is the point in you know, this tippy tappy patient build-up approach. Like Southend, like we need to. We're the ones going into it that probably need to just take risks because if we don't, then like it's plain and simple. Southend will just do whatever they need to do to secure that last playoff spot. So I mean, if we say, for argument's sake, we go 1-0 up in the first early on in the game, and that's different. Maybe naturally then we become a bit more maybe then we naturally become a bit less risk taking. So it's a huge game, and but the fact of the matter is we should have had this home and hosed a long time ago, and it is a capitulation that even by the National League standards is pretty spectacular. But that is that for this video, and I'll be back on Tuesday night with some Northern League Division 2 playoff action, and it is a repeat of a fixture that we saw earlier in the season, and it is Yarm and Eaglescliffe versus Thornaby. Obviously Yarm just missing out on the title by 1 point. Thornaby finished 20 points behind them, but anything can happen in a playoff, so who will get their noses into the Division 2 playoff final? Check back on Tuesday to find out, but until then, take care, cheers for watching. See you later.